Hey everyone, welcome back to Hoopers Nation, your top destination for NBA basketball content. With both Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving finally recovering from long injury layoffs, the Brooklyn Nets entered the 2020-21 regular season as one of the favorites for the 2021 NBA championship. But once James Harden forced his way to Brooklyn via trade, that put them ahead of every other team in the association. And as if having such a talented Big Three wasn't enough, the front office has gone out and brought in six-time All-Star Blake Griffin as a reinforcement, with rumors of them remaining engaged with other teams and players looking to make some more moves ahead of this year's trade deadline. In this video, we'll take a look at the Brooklyn Nets mid-season makeover and whether adding so much talent is what Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving really wanted. But before we do, please make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on Hoopers Nation post notifications for more NBA content. Let's just start by saying that the Brooklyn Nets are ridiculously stacked. This is obviously no secret, but they're genuinely so good that they may be up there with the 2017 Golden State Warriors as the most stacked teams we've ever seen. Even when Brooklyn gave up multiple very valuable supporting cast members with star potential like Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen, the team is still impressively good. Dumping these really good players may have appeared dumb, but considering the type of player they got back, it was actually a genius move by Sean Marks and the Nets front office. When your roster has a superstar and a top-tier star both in their primes, like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving respectively, you throw young player development and draft assets out the window without any hesitation if a player from James Harden's caliber becomes available. Very few teams get the chance to have two top 15 players in the NBA on their roster at the same time. So if you can add a third top 15 player, you do it and figure out the rest later. In the modern NBA, it's extremely hard to win championships. That's why when you have even a slight window of opportunity, you must do whatever it takes to improve your odds as much as possible. And nothing improves odds as much as adding star and superstar talent. The team can later add cheap, quality role players to surround the stars through the buyout market or through veterans minimum deals. The obvious question once James Harden arrived to Brooklyn was, is one ball enough for all three of KD, Kyrie, and Harden? Then you had other secondary but still important questions like, that's an all-time great offense, but what about defense? And is this supporting cast strong enough to complement the stars' talents? At the beginning of this experiment, the Nets' results were extremely disappointing, and expectations didn't get any better once Kevin Durant went down with a hamstring injury. The team touched rock bottom after a February 9th double-digit loss to the Detroit Pistons, the worst team in the Eastern Conference, and saw their record fall to 14-12. But what followed after that terrible start has been the most dominating stretch of play for any team this season. They've gone 12-1 since that embarrassing loss to Detroit, and have far and away the best offense in the NBA, scoring 123.8 points per 100 possessions, according to Cleaning the Glass. Consider this dominance came with KD sitting out all but one of these games. But the biggest surprise has to be Brooklyn's 11th ranked defense. It's still not at the level where most NBA champions' defenses usually end up, but it's a huge improvement over their 26th ranked defense from the start of the season to that February 9th Detroit loss. After a tumultuous start that included tons of drama with the media and the team, Kyrie Irving has managed to block out the outside noises and rise up to MVP levels of play. Irving won't likely get much consideration for the MVP award as he shares the court with two fellow MVP caliber players, much like Kevin Durant never drew any significant consideration for the league MVP award when he played alongside Stephen Curry in Golden State, despite putting up some of the best numbers of his career. But we shouldn't let this take any attention away from Kyrie's amazing performances this season. Irving is averaging a career-high 27.4 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 5.8 assists on 51.4% shooting from the field and 40.7% from deep. It's the first time he's ever shot over 49% on field goals in a season, and this is something that stems from a clear establishment of roles with new teammate James Harden. I just looked at him and said, "You're the point guard, and I'm going to play shooting guard," Irving said. That was as simple as that. He's been taking control of the responsibilities and doing an incredible job. It just makes my job easier to just go out and play free and just make plays. As a result, Harden's transition to Brooklyn has been much smoother than anybody expected. Known for years as a ball-stopping, ISO-scoring, one-man nuclear offensive weapon, questioning Harden's fit in Brooklyn wasn't lunacy. Rookie head coach Steve Nash had stated since early in the season that the Nets wanted to build an identity centered on ball movements and a free-flowing offense. And as such, the Beard's track record didn't indicate that he was the best fit for the team. But oh surprise! Coming off the All-Star break, Harden is averaging a whopping 11 assists per game as the league leader and the only player in the NBA with a double-digit assists average. Not only that, but Harden is also having far and away his most efficient season as a scorer. He's no longer averaging 30-plus points like he did over his last 3 seasons in Houston, but he's still scoring over 25 points per game since arriving to Brooklyn while shooting 49.2% from the field and 41% from behind the three-point line. As a volume scorer in Houston, Harden had finished his previous 6 campaigns shooting below 45% from the field and below 38% from 3. But now that he's in Brooklyn, he's using his top-notch court vision to both set up his teammates and create easier scoring opportunities for himself. It's been a 180-degree turn for the Nets, as Steve Nash has appeared to find a solid balance between powering an elite offense while still playing above-average defense. When your offense is as good as Brooklyn's has been over the last month plus, and as long as they have solid defense, it's hard for other teams to stop them. And as we went over earlier, this has all been with Kevin Durant sitting out most of this stretch. If you look at the 383 possessions that the trio of KD, Kyrie, and Harden has played together, lineups including these 3 posted an offensive rating of 126.4 and an effective field goal percentage of 61.2%, both ranked 99th percentile compared to all other lineups with minimum 100 possessions played together, according to Cleaning the Glass. What this means is, good luck stopping the Nets from scoring when all 3 are playing healthy. The team has now added Blake Griffin to the mix. And even though we won't be able to analyze his impact numbers-wise until we have a significant amount of data to make fair assessments, you can bet that Griffin, much like Harden, will find new energy and motivation playing on a winning team. Do you think Harden balling out in Brooklyn is a coincidence? You could have given him an equally talented roster in Houston and the result would probably not be the same. He needed a breath of fresh air, and so does Griffin, who probably won't return to all-star form right away, but will for sure not play as the miserable being we saw in Detroit last year. All of this is good, it's great. No matter who the Nets meet in the NBA Finals, it's hard to imagine anybody beating this team. Unless a new saga of drama unfolds in Brooklyn, nobody can stop this group. Only they can stop themselves from winning the 2021 NBA Championship. So early congratulations go out to the Nets for their ring. But is this really what Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving wanted when they first signed with the team? I mean, sure, they came here to collect championships, but we all thought these two wanted to prove they could win championships on their own. Kyrie Irving made arguably the most important shot in NBA Finals history and helped the Cavs seal the Game 7 win in the 2016 NBA Finals over the Golden State Warriors. But LeBron James still got most of the recognition for his team's return from down 1-3, as well as the Finals MVP award. Kevin Durant's move to the Warriors later that summer was perceived as soft. And KD went on to win 2 consecutive titles and Finals MVP awards in decisive fashion. But still, everybody knew that was Steph Curry's team, and Durant was the outsider who just came in for his rings as opposed to the rest of the homegrown core. When they first signed with the Nets, Irving and Durant listed a ton of reasons for their decision. They were friends and wanted to team up one day, they liked what the Nets were building, they admired former head coach Kenny Atkinson, etc, etc, etc. But we all know they went there to come out of the shadows of the 2 best players in the league. They wanted to prove they could win a championship on their own without LeBron and without Curry. They wanted to earn the NBA community's respect as 2 genuine number 1 options who didn't need all-time great teammates or stacked rosters to win championships. They wanted to prove they could win real championships by themselves. What the Brooklyn Nets have done couldn't be farther away from that vision. They brought in a disgruntled 6-time All-Star who's also chasing a ring on a veteran's minimum deal. And you can bet there's more moves coming too. They're all going to win their championship and have their parade and whatnot, nobody's taking that away from them, and as we've learned to accept in recent memory, there's no asterisks in championships. There's no such thing as Mickey Mouse rings. Championships are championships, and they all count the same even when they're compared between players. But Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving will never be able to fill that void deep inside themselves of truly building something from the ground up and earning that ring. And that's assuming they do win a championship. Because if they don't, they'll become the biggest running gag in the league for years to come. Much like the 73-9 Warriors when they lost the 2016 NBA Finals. Kyrie demanded a trade from the Cavs because he wanted to prove he was an alpha, but then he snapped in less than 2 seasons with the Boston Celtics, who had a ridiculously stacked team there as well. Kevin Durant had everything to win a championship with the Oklahoma City Thunder as an alpha himself, but his team fell short multiple times in the playoffs and choked a 3-1 lead to the Warriors in the 2016 Western Conference Finals. The exact same thing happened to James Harden in Houston the next season, when they had the Warriors beaten and let them come back. All this team is a bunch of frustrated yet very talented beta stars that could never do the job and win a ring as the alpha guy. And this is no coincidence, as Steve Nash fits the mold perfectly too. They're likely going to win their championship, but we're sure this isn't how Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving really wanted to win their ring. What do you think about the Brooklyn Nets? Are they winning a championship this season? Make sure to comment your thoughts down below, as well as leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.